Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another video. Today, I want to talk to you a little bit about fish bowls and why we think about them the way we do and why they're still used and what you can actually do with a fish bowl and what you definitely cannot do with a fish bowl. So the number one thing that the average person knows about, they see them in movies, they see them in Elmo, they see the goldfish in the bowl. And if you know anything about fish keeping or anything about goldfish, you will know that this is probably one of the worst things you can do with a fish bowl. And that's because goldfish are big fish. They get big, they produce a lot of waste, they like to swim around, they like to be in groups. Not as much as other fish, they aren't like schooling fish, but they definitely do enjoy the company of other goldfish. So putting like one in a bowl, or even worse, multiple in a bowl, is pretty much a recipe for disaster. And it's funny how people tend to treat these animals compared to like a cat or a dog. They kind of have this stigma of, oh, they only live for like a week anyway, which is the exact opposite of the truth. These things can easily live 10 plus years, if not on to 20, 30 years. I think the oldest was like 55. And they have this stigma that they die young because you put them in a volume of water that's half the time they're not even a gallon, and they're pretty much dying in their own waste. So if we all put dogs in like just the size of a shoe closet, that dog would die. If you put a dog in a closet and just left it there, didn't really help it, didn't clean its space or anything, that dog would probably die in like a matter of months, right? Probably not, but this is just the thing I'm using to get this across. So if everyone did that, that's what was in movies. People were like, oh, that's just what you would do with a dog. You put the dog, all they need is a closet, right? Then that would become the way we think about dogs. You can put a dog in a closet because they only live 4 months anyway, even though a dog can live almost 20 years. And the same goes for goldfish. If you give them a proper environment, which honestly, these fish are so hardy that obviously, best case scenario, you have 55, 40 gallon plus for a handful of fancy goldfish. You're gonna need more for a common. Multiple fancies, probably like 40 plus, right? You could hypothetically do a couple commons, maybe in a 55 or a 75, just to make it easier on yourself. If you put too many in, that's just more of a problem. Anyway, that's not really what the video is about. As I was saying, like, these are hardy fish. Like, if you give them like the bare minimum, they're gonna live, right? A 10 gallon with a filter and a weekly water change. That fish will probably live a very, very long time. It'll probably get stunted and have other health issues that can stem from that, but it's not necessarily going to die. It's going to die after a much longer time than people would think, right? And this is something that comes up a lot, and I think I need to talk about more. People should talk about more in general. It gets talked about a lot, but it's something where it's still an issue, obviously. So I think that means more people still need to talk about it. And that is that surviving, like physically living, does not equal thriving. And if you're not willing to get these animals in a place where they're thriving, you don't need to be in possession of these animals, right? I think this goes for people that have dogs too. Like, if you have this huge like Great Dane, or maybe that's not a good example, I don't know much about dogs, or you have like a husky and you live like in Arizona, I think that's wrong because you're willingly getting this animal who you're not in the right like area with the right conditions, or you're not prepared to take care of, and I think that's just entirely irresponsible. And the exact same thing goes for fish. Like, if you're gonna get a rainbow shark or a flying fox or something that gets huge, you need to be willing to like support that as it grows. And of course, there's nothing to feel bad about if you are uneducated and you're not prepared. And a lot of times, fish stores, it's like their responsibility to take something that you got from them, if you can prove it, for them to take it back and take care of it then, for better or worse. Because then that kind of creates a thing where people might be like, oh, well, I'll keep it while it fits my tank, and then once it grows too big, I'll return it. A good example of what you can do with a bowl is what I have right over there. That is a shrimp bowl that's currently kind of just growing in and maturing. And I've got 6 shrimp in there, and they're gonna have babies, hopefully, if I have a female. I'm not really sure. I've been looking at them. Anyway, off topic. That is a great example. It's very easy to set up. Cherry shrimp, Neocaridina are very hardy, very forgiving. If you know what you're doing and do your research, it can be something that's very low maintenance. Don't really gotta do much. It can be fairly cheap. Everything over there was probably, if I had to bring it into account, $40 maybe. I mean, that's pretty cheap compared to like getting everything you need for a dog. That can probably easily be hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. The most expensive thing was probably just the plants, and I got those on a deal. I mean, it's not hard, and I bought that many plants because I wanted something that looks somewhat finished. But if you don't have the money for that, you can very easily just wait, and as the plant spreads and propagates, you'll have something like that in no time. As far as goldfish go, they're very forgiving when it comes to equipment. Pretty much all you need is a filter and a light if you have plants. You don't really need a light other than for aesthetics if you don't have plants, but of course you're going to want a light to see your fish. Other than that, there's not really much you need other than a filter. Just nice. They like a nice, like kind of fine substrate because they can run their mouth through it. And overall, it's really simple. So if you want a goldfish, go for a bigger tank, filtered. And if you're going to stay with a bowl, get a shrimp bowl. They're very cool in my opinion. And if you want something that is small, like that 10-gallon over there, like the next step up from a bowl, go for a beta, go for some guppies, go for some endlers, small group of tetras, and that would be perfectly fine in a 10-gallon tank. If you want a beta, you could go even smaller. You could get a 5-gallon, very, very low end. If it's a long fin beta, I could say maybe if you know what you're doing and have a lot of plants, you might be able to get away with a 3.5. So pretty much what I'm trying to get through to you and say is that there's no reason why you should be buying a fish bowl to put fish in it. You can buy a fish bowl for, I don't know, hypothetically maybe raising fry, but even then that's very not optimal, like at all, because water, when you're raising fry, water quality is a huge thing. Maybe hatching up baby brine ship, I don't really know. That wouldn't really be. So pretty much, as I'm trying to think of a use for a fish bowl, for other than keeping shrimp in it or other small invertebrates, is pretty much they're like completely useless. Pretty much everything you can think of to use a fish bowl for, there is another infinitely better product out there that is going to serve you better and is going to be more efficient and more like just better in every way pretty much. So I want to end this video off with saying just what you can do if you're this person who has a fish bowl and you're hearing these things and you found this video and are wondering, like, what's my next step? Next step, I would say, bare minimum, like I'm assuming you're maybe a parent or you're not really ready to take on this whole other thing. First thing you can do is return the fish. Most likely, wherever you get them from is going to be willing to take them back if you bought them from them, especially if it's a feeder goldfish or anything like that. Alternatively, if you're willing to, I would say, bare minimum, get a 20-gallon, and there's a good chance that if you've had this fish for a couple months, it might already be stunted. And I have a short about stunting, but that pretty much means that your goldfish is going to not reach its maximum size, in which case, if you have a single one, 20-gallon might be okay for a while, if you're willing to do the water changes and have good filtration and everything. And now you have an opportunity to give this fish the best life you can. Throw some hardy plants in there, some anubias, some java fern. Get them some like little rocks and hiding spaces. Get them some nice fine substrate that they'll be able to sift through all day. Get them some good quality food. Maybe get them some friends in the future if you're willing to upgrade. So pretty much that's where I'm gonna end this video here. It was a little bit all over the place, so I apologize for that. I just wanna get something out there and help people out. And if you have any questions, of course, I'm willing to answer and help in the comments. So with that, I'll leave you guys with this. Please subscribe. All right, bye.